Hello, everyone. Craig here for another podcast episode of my comedy podcast. Today, we're going to be doing something different. I'm here to do a double movie review of Toy Story 5 and Supergirl for Masters of the Universe. So, let's go right into it. But first, like I said, we're going to do a movie review of Toy Story 5 and then Supergirl. So, without further ado, this is going to be a big one. Let's get into Toy Story 5. Non-spoiler review first, and then spoilers. Man, you have to bring tissues for this one. This one was directed by Andrew Stanton, the director from Toy Story 4. And it's a direct continuation of Toy Story 4. Bit different. The sets are different. The animation is fantastic. It's a Pixar movie, so of course it's fantastic. So they're trying to develop the new technology and everything. Um, the same actors as before, new actors as well. New themes into this movie. Thomas Newman, Randy Newman, sorry, who's in his 80s, is still doing the music for Toy Story. So he did that one. He didn't do his normal music for singing voice for this one. He just gave it to Miley Cyrus. This one had a budget of $180 million and is smashing box office records right now. Doing better than Minions and Monsters. Beat that elimination. So that's all the non-spoiler stuff I could think of. But yeah, okay. Spoiler stuff. Man, I just we could start off with the start, I guess. So this movie is all about a Jesse origin story of how Jesse became this human doll or toy, whatever you want to call her. And throughout the whole entire movie, you actually get a sense of why Jesse wants to be left alone and just wants to be loved, and you can sense why she's feeling a bit bitter at him and bitter against the toys because her owner at first was like, "Oh, love you, Emily. Oh, love you, Jesse, forever and ever and ever." And then in the next minute, like the next stage of life, she's like, "Yeah, hang on, yeah, we can hang out. Sorry, yeah, all right, cool." And she kicks the toys under the bed, and then they get loaned to a donation box. And then during the movie as well, when they get sent to she gets sent to the same house again. She digs up a treasure box, an old treasure box of Emily's, and you can see her daughter and and well, you can see her owner's daughter with her, and she named her daughter after her toy. And I was like, oh. And then she had to change her heart, and then the movie, well, moved on from there. So the movie was basically about technology being bad for kids. That kids are moving on from toys, and toys are getting scared of technology. Um, there was a moment in a movie that made me laugh. I'm gonna get to my side story because that side story was the best part of the movie for me. But one of my favorite moments in the movie was Forky and Knifey were getting married, and then they got married. Rexy, the T-Rex, ate a cake and it was poisoned. So it was like, um, Buzz Lightyear was a sheriff, and they called in Woody to do to deal with technology because technology is making toys lives miserable. And then Woody gets called to go to Bonnie's house because technology has arrived in her house. Like this is like a horror movie. It's like technology's already here. And then he gets cold. He has a bald spot because he's getting old. So when he takes his hat off and hangs it in the coat rack, the sun starts shining on it, and it's like, and because he's getting old as well, he's got a fat gut, so they call him chubby most of the time. Um, and then and the technology had a last, which made me laugh as well. They got sent to the shed, and they said, "Oh no, what's going to happen to us?" I'm like, I don't know. I think we're going to be donated. And then Forky's the wife, Nafi said, donuts. And he's like, no, honey, donated. Don't worry, she's an idiot. I'll get it through it all. Don't worry. Um, but yeah, my favorite side plot is these Buzz Lightyears that just woke up from the crash plane. It was like it was different on the start of the movie because that's how the start of the movie started. It was like a Buzz Lightyear woke up on a beach, and then press buttons, turned on all these Buzz Lightyears and everything. They started running around looking for supplies and everything. Like, oh. And it all came to around a campfire, looked up at the sky, said, Star Command, Star Command, Star Command. And and then they made in the adventure they went to a crane facility in I think it was in Mexico. And they actually went up to this crane, and this the foreman was walking around on a torch and looked up and saw this crane moving, and he was like, huh? So he walked over to it, and then all these Buzz Lightyears was all collapsed on the floor because they can't move their dolls or toys or humans around. So he was like, eh, and just walked away. And then yeah, and then they went to a forest and they met this deer, and they just aimed their lasers at it. And this deer started looking at it. It was so cute. It was like a different version of Snow White. And then yeah, the themes of this movie is about love, connection, abandonment, and making friends. Um, there isn't really much of a bad guy in it. I mean, technology is a bad guy in this movie, but really is there's no bad guy. It's just that Bonnie made herself feel like a bad guy because she didn't have any friends, she didn't want to connect with anyone, and yeah. So I'm gonna give this movie 4 out of 5. Well, not 4 out of 5. 5 out of 5. Yeah. This next one, I think maybe people might be a bit bored by this one, but who cares? If you're going to be watching this, just watch it. This one is Supergirl. So, first off, let's get into non-spoilers. This one is directed by an Australian director called Craig Gillespie. Has a $200 million budget, bombing at a box office right now. So, he's doing worse than two Marvel movies back to back. So, really, he's not doing great. But for the superhero movie, it's okay. It's 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 not good, but it's good in its own way. It's meant to be good in its own way. Um, Millie Alcock is the main actress. David Cornsweet is Superman in this one again, so he's the main Superman in this universe. Jason Momoa is Lobo, who's this unstoppable bounty hunter and badass. And then some other actors I can't remember. I believe one of them is from Game of Thrones, apart from Jason Momoa, who's in definitely Game of Thrones. But yeah, so just watch it. Who cares? Who cares what many people think? Because if you don't want to watch it, that's okay. Because you can always watch my spoiler review, which will be happening in about 3 seconds. But yeah, and no, I'm just kidding. It's gonna be happening in 10 seconds anyway. But yeah, if you don't want to watch, if you don't want to listen to spoilers, just don't listen to this. You already clicked on this video, haven't you? Well, too bad. We're watching spoilers. So start off with this movie is different. Like I said, doesn't start off with an origin story of how Krypton was destroyed. It just starts off as a normal day in the life of Kara. She just has sunglasses on. She's like, this Krypto just pouncing around, punching in her face with its tail and everything, and then it is kissing overdrive. Like this bad guy shows up to this house and and meets these people wanting a sword for world domination or galactic don't know what this guy wants. But he just wants something, and then this girl shows up out of the blue, just walks up just quietly, and you can tell the mother knows she's right there because she keeps side-eyeing her. And so her brother is in his room with his headphones on and listening and in music, takes it off and jumps out and gets killed by the bad guy, and then the bad guy burns the house down with the parents still in there, so they get burned alive. And yeah, this movie took a drastic change. It's still a goofy movie. I liked it. But yeah, so Supergirl was playing around with crypto after saving the girl from these aliens in his bar, and then after that, the movie got a bit more interesting. So Supergirl got killed. Well, Supergirl's dog is poisoned and has got 48 hours left to live. So she turned into John Wick and started killing people. Well, not killing people. She got her powers from the other sun. She dealt with the pirates and everything. She went into another planet where she had to figure out where these people are from. They're called brigands. And she meets Lobo in this bar with this girl. And then near the end of the bar scene, she has another fight with like 500 guys. And then she wins in that one, obviously. And then she gets poisoned by some harmless citizens. And while that's going on, there's obviously some flashbacks to Kara's life in Krypton and Agro City and the course destabilizing. And that's when she met Crypto as a little puppy just eating away in some rubble and everything because he was left alone. Um, and so she decided to become his owner. And that's when Krypton got destroyed and Agro City got sent to space with a force field bubble. And then her parents started dying slowly due to kryptonite being found in the soil. They didn't find a cure or anything, so they started dying out. And then after that, yeah, basically she got sent to Earth, and she said the first word she said to Superman is like, "Why do you have underwear now outside of your pants?" That made me laugh. But my favorite part in the movie would have to be Lobo. He's so good. Well, and they had some humor in the movie as well, apart from Lobo. So they had an alien that was spitting out popcorn, not from his mouth, but from his ass. So it was shitting it out, and the Supergirl started eating it, and she's like, tastes like shit." And I was like, "Oh my God, that's so funny." But my favorite moment in the movie would have to be when Lobo was first introduced in the movie. He slams down something, activates a hologram, talks to the bartenders behind the bar, said, "Oh no, we don't know these people." And then the little girl walks up and says, "Excuse me, sir, do you know fuck off?" And that's and then obviously he gets kidnapped by the bad guys, gets to the prison and everything, and that's when she meets the girl, and then she starts fighting and everything. He's like, "Oh yeah." He starts watching this and starts helping her out. He's like, "Come on, little girl. You know where to go," and starts releasing her. And then when he walks away, she jumps up at a vent and she's like, "Geez, you're a good little shit, aren't you?" He keeps us swearing in the movie. It's so funny. But yeah, lots of fun with this movie. I'll give this 4 out of 5 for because, like I said, it's an okay story. The villain was not that interesting. Yeah, as you can tell, I didn't talk much about the story villain because the villain was just a normal bad guy and everything. It didn't really have anything to do.
Do you want to address the criticism of the film?
So the criticism in this movie, I'm sure people have heard, is the actress, Millie Alcock, being a superhero. I have to say, I disagree with the criticism. I don't know why critics are saying this is the worst movie of DC Universe. I mean, yes, James Gunn has ruined it because of his humor, but that's okay. I mean, there has to be some humor in superhero movies. It doesn't have to be all serious and blood and gore and everything. And please don't target girls. If they want to be heroes, that's okay. But Supergirl is a character in the DC comics, and if you watch I mean, I'll watch a TV show. she's good in that one too. Like, yes, there's a different actress. Yes, she got a lot of flack for it. That's okay. Many actresses can get flack for it. I mean, look at Millie Bobby Brown. When she was first cast in Stranger Things, she got a lot of flack for being 11, for being this bold chick. But that's okay. I mean, ladies can be heroes and everything, so that's okay. Masters of the Universe. So, let's go right into it. But first, non-spoilers. So, non-spoilery stuff is just a simple story about a kid that got his home destroyed by a bad guy, and his dad got killed. His mum is like the queen, and then this kid. But actually, I'm gonna spoilery. Shoot. Um,
I'll do a little joke editing with this. I'll put in like a long beep.
yeah.
We can turn this into a funny bit.
Okay, cool. Alrighty. So non-spoilery is just a simple story. Nothing really much into it. It's like it's a pretty big budget for a comedy movie. It's a director that knows his stuff. He's done some horror movies in the past. He hasn't done a superhero movie or well, he's actually seen the cartoons, so really it's just a simple story about, you know, action and comedy. It's such a perfect blend of both. The actors are just made for this movie. Idris Elba, uh, Jared Leto. So yeah, basically just those sort of characters. I don't even remember most of the other actors because they're just names I don't recognize. But those are the two big names I know. They're in the movie quite a bit, so I was happy with that. Uh, the filming was perfectly good. The CGI was a bit wonky. Yeah, it was a bit wonky, but yeah. So no spoiler. He was just a ton of fun.
Can I ask
But
where do you know where they shot it?
they just shot it in a soundstage. In like a soundstage in America, but I believe they've also filmed some scenes in a jungle. So I believe they actually also filmed some scenes in California for the Earth scenes because they can't film. Are you having an earthquake right now?
Yeah, it's so warm, but I have the windows open so the breeze comes through.
Oh, okay, because
Really
your computer's doing this.
Ah, okay, we can include that as well with some earthquake sounds.
Okay.
Okay, this one's
Alrighty.
gonna have a lot of extra jokes in it.
Cool. So, spoilery stuff. Because we've actually moved on to the spoilery stuff. If you don't want to watch the rest of this video, watch the movie and then come back and listen to my point of view for spoilery stuff. This is your only warning. If you're still here, good. If you're not here, bye. Okay. So, this movie, Masters of the Universe. Where to start? Well, like I said, it's a simple story. It's just all about a kid that wants to be a hero, doesn't know how to be a hero because he's a weak boy. His father thinks he's weak. His mother thinks he's not that weak. He's got a cute girlfriend. Well, girlfriend. There's a girl that thinks he's cute. There's a guard that always wants to make him go back up and fight and everything. It's just a simple, like, treat it as like a Superman story, really, at the beginning. But then he goes into a dark bit of the story where his homeworld gets destroyed by this weird guy with a skull for a face. His name's Skeletor. Most of the scenes with Skeletor is made for comedic effect. His scene with the kid's father is so funny. He was like, "Oh, I'm gonna be doing this and this, and when I get this sword of power, I'll be the ultimate leader of the universe. And he starts laughing very evilly. And there's also the bad guys. He's like, what are you all doing? That was my moment. You meant to all join me with my laughter. The evil hench lady is like, and he's like, oh, you missed it. It's too late now. Um, but yeah, there was some very comedic moments in the movie. One of the most funniest moments in the movie was really the beginning of the movie when he was stuck on Earth. He was just too busy focusing on his phone, looking for a sort of power, and he kept looking for a sword. And he was working as a IT person, or like a human resources person. So when this lady was talking to Adam, she said, "Oh, I don't know if my husband likes me anymore. What should I do?" And he's like, "Maybe you should look for this kind of power. I mean, maybe you should look for a different man." And she's like, "What?" And then it cuts to a scene of him talking to his boss, saying that he's fired if he doesn't focus. And while the meeting's going on, he gets a text message saying that someone's found his sword of power, and he's like this. I'm sorry, I got to do this. Sorry, 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 and starts running off. And she's like, "You're gonna get fined in a minute." And then nearly a minute later, she drinks some coffee. But one of the things that made me laugh so loud was Skeletor was fighting against He-Man because Adam was turning into He-Man and everything. And when he Adam became He-Man, he started having a heart moment with Skeletor saying, "We don't have to do this. I mean, you can always just change your mind." While all that's going on, his dog is eating a cat. It's like, but while all that's going on, the cat's like this. And then he's like, "So what do you say, Skeletor? Will you be my friend?" And Skeletor's like, "Why, you big boob? Why, yes, not." And then of course I have a big fine and everything. And then Skeletor starts crying like a little baby. Because yeah. But yeah, the movie is all about Adam trying to find a sort of power, but that the whole entire film, Skeletor wants a sort of power for his own nefarious means, but He-Man wants to save the universe and save his planet. But when the sort of power gets destroyed but along with his father by Skeletor, He-Man gets killed by Skeletor in a movie. And then when Skeletor said, "Oh yes, I finally did it," this lady who actually transforms from a bird into a beautiful woman said, "The power is not the sword. The power is in your heart. You've always had a very kind heart for yourself." And I guess what the message was really, if you find yourself feeling powerless, just help someone. Really. I think that was what the message was because the message was just all over the place because I couldn't really understand most of the message. But yeah, throughout the movie, that was what the message was. And when He-Man was buff and everything, he made a joke saying, and then God was like this. And then after that, he had a fight with a guy that was called Trap Jaw. Like he had a jaw that was a trap and everything, and he had a blade for a hand and start hacking away at things. And but one of my favorite characters in that whole entire movie, actually no, that wasn't my favorite comedic moment. My favorite comedic moment is each moment this character gets mentioned. So this character was called Fisticuffs. And his slogan and his catchphrase, made by Adam, is he likes fisting people. So during the speech and everything, there's a guy that's called Ramhead, so he likes ramming things. Meanwhile, Fisty Man is like, "What about me? We like fisting people." He's like, "Yeah." And during the movie, he starts fisting people, like smashing buildings. Like, oh man, this is fun. And then, yeah, but yeah, the whole entire message of the film was just finding power and helping others. Now, this movie, I will give it a 9 out of 10. I did like the movie. I did love the action. I did love the comedy. I did love everything else. But the message, well, I understood the message, but you could have said what the message was at the beginning of the movie. But instead, the woman is like, "Oh, you gotta do this sort of power thing. You gotta do kind of this epic quest." Meanwhile, this epic quest was he went into the comic store and found a sort of power. He was doing this, and it was funny because from the point of view, the guy was like this on the CCTV footage, and this lady who was actually filming the whole entire thing said, "Call me." So yeah, that was
Okay,
my review for Masters of the
who
Universe.
who was the movie aimed for, do you think? Because that sounds like it has both like
It was
immature jokes,
aimed
but also like
for
mature jokes.
I think it was aimed for kids and adults because it had some adult humor in it
Hmm.
and it had some kiddie humor in it. Like they had some really dark moments of Skeletor, like he killed a barnacle man that looked like seaweed. So when he killed him, he said, "Mmm, tastes like wolf, tastes like cooked fish," and everything. And then when he killed a guy that stunk really badly, he said, "Man, it stinks like a skunk." So it had some very comedic humor in it, and for adults. So most of the humor of the movie was aimed at adults, but some of the humor was aimed at kids. So yeah,
How close to the original were the characters? Were the
pardon?
characters very faithful to the original
Oh
cartoon?
yeah, definitely. Yeah, Skeletor was definitely faithful to the thing. So when he was first introduced, he was like evil. He had a skull for a face. His eyes were red and everything. And when Adam turned into He-Man, he had a buff body. He had muscles. He had everything that was perfect for He-Man. Yeah.
Okay. Who played He-Man?
Who played He-Man? Oh gosh. I don't know the actor's name, but he's pretty handsome.
Gonna look him up quickly now. Just to
Yeah,
see.
good idea.
Um, okay, gotta put in 2026, clearly.
Yeah, 2026, good idea.
Mm,
If he's not called He-Man, it should be called Adam.
yeah. Um, is it Chris Butler?
Yeah, that's him. That's him.
No,
Yeah,
no,
yep.
sorry. Nicholas Galitzine.
Okay, yeah, yeah, okay. They did have a interview with someone like from a company, and the director said who would win, and the person who was interviewing the whole entire thing said who would win in a fight, Superman or He-Man, and the director simply said Superman, and then the actor who played He-Man said what? He's like, no, 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 I'm not just saying that He-Man will probably get destroyed. I mean, it'll be a big fight, and then next minute the director of the new movie was like. James Gunn, call
Also, I think
me.
Dolph Lundgren is Macho Man.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Dolph Lundgren was definitely in the movie. He was actually this oh and can we quickly add this in the video as another comedic moment? So in the comedic moments in this movie, He-Man and Skeletor was having a fight with He-Man, so it was touching his head like this. It's setting him on a journey through his mind and everything. And one of the moments was Dolph Lundgren just working out with Adam, and he's like, "So who's the new kid?" And we saw Skeletor working out, doing some weights and everything. It's like, really? You're gonna pump some guns? Really? And then had another moment where Adam was on a date with a girl, and and then just when he looked down and looked up, Skeletor was wearing a dress, and she was like, it was like, "Oh, Adam, oh, really? You gotta go on a date with a human girl? You sicken me." And then it had another moment where he was in HR and Skeletor showed up with a business suit and a hoodie and everything, drinking coffee. And then and Skeletor was like, "So what's this place?" It's like human resources. You sicken me.
I just saw Dolph Lundgren played He-Man in the 80s version of it.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he was original He-Man.
Okay, that's a nice callback. I like when they do that. But I want to see him as the Macho Man character.
Oh, he was so funny. In the beginning of the movie, when Adam was trying to get some muscles going and all that, he was working out right behind Dolph Lundgren, and Dolph said, "Boy, boy, you're in my way. Move it."
Hmm.